Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload, as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about a potential for several storm systems. Again, the confidence is pretty low in the details. Obviously, the details are usually pretty hard to pin down, but even the occurrence of these storms, there is a lot of disagreement in the models still. Okay, and normally, I'd of course rather have more confidence in this than I do now because it's pretty low. But we have to work with what we have, and there are some models that are staying consistent and showing these storms. Some models aren't, but there's a few reasons as to why I think one group of models is better than the other. So we'll get into that very shortly. However, if you guys do enjoy this channel, you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing, check out the other videos, see if it's something you'd like. And if you enjoy watching the channel, you're a returning viewer, remember that liking the video is always a fantastic thing you could do. And honestly, if you'd like, leaving a comment is also really awesome. So let's get into this. Let's start off by looking at the European. So this is the Ecmwf. It's offered for a free version on Pivotal Weather. A lot of people like this model and think it's the better one over the GFS. I would say overall, yes, though not always. And unfortunately, you don't know when it's going to be inaccurate or accurate. That would be awesome. But let's take a look at it. So right now, the Northwest is really seeing the precipitation. I was going to say the bulk of the precipitation. It is literally just the Northwest and the West. Anywhere else, it's really dry. There's a high pressure. Very strong winds across the Midwest today here in Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma. All those locations saw some pretty strong winds. That may continue into Thursday. You could see especially a bit further to the east. Indiana, the Ohio Valley, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Notice we have a high pressure parked across the southeast, and obviously where the high pressure is exactly centered, usually the winds are pretty calm. The reason these winds are so strong with no big low pressure around is because this high pressure and these low pressures, these two of them are kind of combining a wind area that it's almost like two magnets repelling each other. The closer they get, these isobars get really tight and strong winds occur. Okay, so notice that the precipitation across the Northwest really breaks up. We do see some brief shower activity, snow shower activity across Ontario and pushing into Quebec. But again, this is late November or mid to late November that we're getting into. And for this time of the year, it is pretty warm and not awfully stormy as of now. Now that may change again, as indicated by the title of this video. Notice that the precip winds down across the Northwest. There's a bit of snow kind of hanging around along with some showers across southeastern Canada. Nothing that will ruin your day, most likely. That will be an all-day event of precip, other than for the Northwest and southwestern Canada. The amounts of snow southwestern Canada could get, British Columbia in particular, the coastal mountain areas, is just off the charts. I mean, it's absolutely astronomical, the amount of snow they could get, which is a good thing, but obviously there is too much of a good thing as well. Notice, and it's the beginning of the season, and with the La Nina pattern, this may continue for a good while. This isn't just like a 1 week event, and it hasn't been just a 1 week event. It's been occurring for a good portion of this fall and now late fall. So as we push this into Saturday this weekend, right? So people are asking, what do I expect Friday, Saturday? Expect nothing other than either cloudy skies, maybe by a bit of precipitation somewhere else. But again, generally cloudy skies with no precip, or just sunny skies, and by the looks of it, it's most likely going to be sunny skies. Temperatures pretty warm. Notice, however, Saturday, late Friday, early Saturday, we start seeing a bit of rain form out across Missouri, Illinois. So if you have plans for late Friday, early Saturday, again, this band is still a bit away, 66 hours, and this has been kind of all over the place. Earlier, they thought this band was going to form here. Now it's here. Possibly it was over there earlier on in the week, and this still probably will change. And again, this is just one model. So if you push this forward, notice the precipitation continues to dwell, really increasing in coverage and intensity as we push through much of the day Saturday. Again, not drenching rain, but some light rain, enough to make a pretty miserable day out of this. Notice that we do start seeing some snow develop in Minnesota, or maybe some upper the arrowhead of Minnesota, southern Canada, into Manitoba, Ontario. And notice that really it's not organized according to the European. It keeps this system really weak, not organized whatsoever. And we do see some rain and snow mixing into portions of Michigan and southern Canada. But again, this is not impressive. This is not well put together. And the rain will be falling, right? But it doesn't seem to be as well put together as earlier on in the week. And even earlier on in the week, it wasn't really that well put together. And the thing is that it does put itself together just much, much later on, and that kind of diminishes any snow threat or flooding rain threat across the Midwest, and that's a good thing. The flooding rain we don't want, but definitely the snow would be nice for Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana. A lot of these locations are, kind of running where that 1 inch first annual or the average first inch of snow would be coming soon on average, so they definitely wouldn't be uncalled for. They do see some snow, and again, it differs based on models. And notice that the European does develop a system into southeastern Canada. Even the larger cities of Canada, maybe Quebec, getting in on some of this snow before transitioning to rain. This thing is going to have a lot of snow for Canada, Quebec, northern Quebec especially. You can see as it pushes. And around the coastal areas, even Maine, almost all rain for you guys. So that's good news in terms of the rainfall. The Northeast has been dry really anywhere you put your finger on your map. Chances are you'll land in a dry spot or a drought area. So you can see this is late Sunday, early Monday morning. This is now Monday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So Monday is the Northeast. Sunday, Saturday is kind of the Midwest. And I'm really into late Monday, early Tuesday is southeastern Canada. And obviously, the further north you go, the chances for that snow increase. Now, this is where the European, starting yesterday's model run, it showed a system, right? This system has kind of come out of nowhere because this started showing at around the 170 hour. Not that it showed at 240 and worked its way all the way to 160. It's just blossomed at around 160. These models kind of slept on this storm, if you will. They didn't really show it, and to be honest, it's really just the European model that's showing the storm as of right now. And is that going to be accurate? We'll see. There are some models that are starting to slide towards a European model, which makes me think that the European has the best handle on most things at this point. But we don't have the GFS parallel right now because that model is a bit running behind. It's not filling in its data, so it's a bit tough to make an opinion. Though notice, from an energy that makes its way onto the Northwest Monday, really nothing significant. It's usually the big significant storms dwindle down to nothing, and these little suspicious, little sneaky guys come out and blossom into a bigger storm across the Midwest. Notice this has a lot of rain, quite a bit of snow as well with this if this were to occur. Notice that rain band is very wide, and that's indication of a strengthening system. And look at that, just looks odd, right? I mean, usually the cold front is much slimmer. This thing is like a full-blown, almost the same width as that snow area. So lots of Wisconsin potentially seeing snow, Minnesota, and you may be looking at this and being like, oh shoot, Milwaukee won't be seeing snow out of this again. This system is not supported by all models. The track and the timing is completely unknown. It's incognito at this point, pretty much. That's what we could look at it as. So it's just the fact, will this be a rain system? Will it not? We'll have to see. Or will this be a system at all? That's the question. And then notice this develops into a pretty strong system, strong winds, a bit of mixing, ice, rain across the Northeast. You may be looking in Michigan being like, oh, another miss. Well, again, this is just this one track, and this will change thousands of times. We don't even know exactly what will happen with this first system, let alone the second system. Notice that moves into the Northeast. This could affect some of the big Canadian cities with some heavy snow. Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec, maybe seeing some good doses of snow out of this with this track, and this will definitely change. There's no way this will not change. That's the probability of that is you're more likely to get struck by lightning. So, and then notice that the European does try developing another storm a bit further to the south. So it seems like the activity's there. The potential is there. Again, this is just one model run. If we were to take a look at the total snowfall, this is pretty much just for the fun, right? So please take this with the entertainment purposes, really, because this is all what I could provide. Notice that where that snow may occur, it looks to be a pretty wide swath of snow, right? Across the Midwest, and you may be looking at Illinois, Michigan, Indiana. Oh, it's another miss. Maybe, maybe not. At this point, this will change. Whether it will change further to the north, go further to the south, we'll have to see. And then notice that the southeastern Canada, northern Maine does see quite a bit, though Toronto, maybe a few inches out of that. I wanted to show you that the UP of Michigan right there, look at that, it's completely filled in with purple. Every bit of it, like, every single bit. That's just, that's more of just like a cool thing on a map. That's not really a meteorological thing. It's funny how they fill in that whole peninsula of the weather models. And that makes sense, since the waters usually have a bit of warmer air, the snow takes a bit more cold air for it to fall there, and the UP is all purple. So again, this is just one scenario, and the one area I would be confident about is the northwest seeing quite a bit of snow. Northwest, the higher elevations, and the reason it's kind of limited to those areas, and I've been saying higher elevations in every single video, because the cold air won't be that plentiful. It won't be Arctic air over there. It will be just enough for the higher locations to see the snow. But the higher locations will see a ton of snow, not because of the cold air, but obviously the abundance of moisture. Notice we start seeing snow across a good portion of southern Canada. I mean, some of these amounts are quite literally, you can't believe them. Almost 120 inches, 123 inches of snow in centimeters. Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's usually times 2.5, 123 times 2.5. 290, maybe to over 300 centimeters in some locations. So definitely a beast of a system. It's really not even one system. It's a series of storms, and they've been seeing this repeatedly. Notice most of British Columbia, Alberta, Calgary seeing not a historic amount of snow, it seems. Really dwindles as you move away from the mountains. But there's still snow. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, into Ontario, and right there into those Quebec, Labrador, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia area also seeing a bit of snow depending on how this storm sets up. Let's go to the midnight one of the European, so the one prior to this. This is the model that first started showing that second system across the Midwest. This was a track of that first storm, so you can see that the models have increased it a bit across the southeastern Canadian area, moved it further to the north, but increased amounts. And then you can see this was the track of the yesterday system, so it did move a bit further to the north, but again, whether or not this will happen is still a mystery, and supporting similar amounts of snow, 100 inches plus 250 centimeters plus, it seems, for the highest of the highest elevations, which is just ridiculous. Notice the northwest Washington could be seeing 40-50 inches, maybe not as much as here, but still large amounts of snow. Let's take a look at the GFS model. I want to point out that this goes out to 240 as well, so similar to the European. This is a bit newer data, 6 hours fresher than what the European was showing with its latest model run. Again, lots of snow across the northwest, that's consistent. It really does not show at all anything almost with that first system, even across southeastern Canada. Almost nothing, which is definitely a bit strange, almost a bit too strange to take good note of. And again, this is that second system. This is all leaves behind a few inches in northern Iowa, and it does develop it into a bit of a stronger storm across southeastern Canada, affecting the larger cities, but really not that much more snow across southeastern Canada. There's a bit less, and obviously across the United States. The Northwest also seeing a bit less with the GFS model, so that's definitely a bit. It gives you a little red flag, kind of how these two models are so different, and it doesn't really tell us which one's more accurate, but it tells us that they're very far apart and the differences are huge. This is the Canadian, so this is another set of a model from a completely different family. So we just have these models from all over trying to make these forecasts. Notice Quebec, even from or all the way to this weekend, quite a bit of snow. Not historic amounts, no record-breaking amounts, but 4, 5, 6 inches of snow across these locations, which again isn't that much for these locations. Southeastern Canada, again, does see a bit of snow with that weekend system. Not as much as what the European was showing, the Canadian leaning something towards more of what the GFS, but definitely a bit more than what the Canadian or what the GFS shows. The biggest threat or area that is populated and could see quite a bit of snow in terms of the U.S. is Detroit. I would say that area could see quite a bit of snow from that first system this weekend, but not all models agree, and you can see this one would also provide some snow really for all the main metropolitan areas of Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec, and that would definitely produce quite a bit of snow. Again, quite a bit compared to what they've seen so far this year. This is the Canadian snow system. You could see that second one way further to the south, but lesser amounts. And then in the future, it does increase the snowfall amounts a bit, but the southwestern Canada really doesn't see that much, and that also gives us a red flag. It doesn't agree with the GFS or European. Either one it kind of disagrees with on many aspects, and only on certain aspects can we compare it to the European or GFS. So this is confusing to you, so it is to me. So all meteorologists are looking at this and are kind of like, well, we'll have to make a decision based off of not much information. Let's take a look at the GDPS, the Canadian, but in terms of the precipitation type and rate. So this is the weekend storm. Notice a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow. Not strong at all. It develops it way further to the south, which obviously prevents it from turning over to snow. It does develop a bit of snow as it moves into the northeast, a bit of rain as well. There's that second potential system you could see closer to what the European is showing. The GFS completely doesn't show a system yet. But again, I think that the European has the best handle on it because of the fact it was the first model to show the second system. And the other models have trended towards the European. They're not trending away, they're trending towards it. And you could see that some weird storms, weird shapes. That's honestly the best way I could describe it. These are weird formation storms. Let's take a look at the GFS in terms of the radar. I wanted to show you how different it is, really, than the European. So this is the GFS. There's that first storm. This is the second one. Way more of a rainstorm than a snowstorm. It does provide some snow across southeastern Canada, but it's good news that it's showing this system in the first place, because even 18 hours ago, this is what it was showing. These two systems completely not phasing together, completely far apart, and the European at this exact time was already showing a pretty strong system, and it has maintained that trend. Now, the GFS parallel is often a really good model. I like looking at it. Unfortunately, look how scattered this is. It only has a few hours that are loaded in. Look at that. That first storm is a bit more strong, a bit more snow with it. So that already gives us a bit of more disagreement, adding on to already the load of disagreement we've had. And I want to take a look at the GFS parallel on this website, since here we could actually load in this website right here. It has all the GFS parallel hours loaded in. This is a paid website, unfortunately, so it's not free of access, but at least it provides us with something we don't have on Tropical Tidbits of Pivotal Weather, so we get our good money. It doesn't have snowfall, but it does have simulated radar, which is usually used for severe weather, but it could still give us a good area of what to look at. And if we were to wait for this to load, this is the latest model run. It's obviously still 18 hours old, but it's definitely the latest out of the GFS parallel. Notice it shows quite a bit of rain, and it actually does show a snow threat across, again, even into southern Wisconsin, Michigan. That looks pretty like some pretty heavy snow that could provide quite a bit of, maybe even a foot of snow across northern Michigan. So you could see that system. This model doesn't agree with the others. And for that second system, it doesn't agree with really none of the models, maybe closer to the GFS than any other in terms of mostly range. So definitely has its own things to show. Each model is different, but again, the potential is there, and that's kind of what this video is about. The biggest storm to watch for is that weekend storm that's going to be occurring in 80 to 100 hours, but the NAM, the models that go out to 84 still haven't gone out as far as developing this system. It would, at this time, the system seems to be only taking shape. It has been pushed back a bit, but thank you so much for watching. This video is long, but hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See ya.